This episode of the Jaguar Football Podcast is brought to you by Lorenzo's Tacos and Burritos, located at 1841 Old State Route 21, addicted to tacos. Hi, everyone. I'm Carl Bierock. Welcome to podcast episode number 10. We are in week 3, and we have a very, very busy podcast. So let's just get right into it. Coach Baer, thank you so much for joining us today, and a great victory last Friday on our brand new turf.
Yeah, hey, we beat Fox last week. All right, you know what that means. Our coffee tastes a little bit better, the sun's shining a little brighter, and the wife looks a little prettier this week. So we got that for the next 365 days, and that's always fun to get it done, get out of the way, and now focus on the rest of the season. We can have that for the next 365.
Outstanding. And, naturally, and you talked about the last podcast for folks that are maybe newer to the program, these classmates or this team, the student body at Seckman doesn't know what it's like to lose to Fox, and that's exciting.
Yeah, there was a time when we'd hear the Tomahawk song. It would draw a lot of fear into our players, and people at school kind of would come to school and be like, "Well, we know we're going down to Fox this year. It's been 15 years since we beat them," and now kids that go to school here, our seniors, don't know that feeling. Have never lost to Fox on a Friday, and we want to try to keep it that way as long as possible. There's 16. I got 16 years to go, so I'm not sure if we can run off that many in a row. So we eventually may lose to them. It just was not this year.
Very good. And just wanted to ask that any feedback on the new playing service. I know just from looking at it, it looked amazing. I mean, just a top notch playing surface. Any feedback from the players? Did they mention anything?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're looking at it from above. It is beautiful. The colors are so vibrant. It's really soft when you compare it to the turf that we had. Previously in the previous years. If you were out on the turf on Melville last Monday night, that's a lot what it felt like. And the boys are loving it. You sink into a little bit. Your landings are a little softer, and they felt a little faster for sure.
Excellent, excellent. So let's just get right to it. A lot of big plays. The game maybe a little close for some the first half, but was wondering if you could walk us through a few plays that you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, it was a great football game. We go into the locker room 12-7, 2,500, 3,000 people in the stands, and we're in a football game. It's an exciting moment. I was a little nervous going into halftime, but I'm really proud of, as I said in my email, that how the boys responded. I'm not going to act like I went in there and gave them a win one for the Gipper speech, but I did put it to them a little bit. We talked about how what kind of team is this going to be? It's week 2. We're still learning a lot about ourselves, and we stumbled into that locker room 12-7. And how are we going to respond? What kind of team is this going to be when they face adversity? And very proud. Came out in the second half to kind of go on a 22-0 run and put it away. And there's that first test of the season, and it was great to see the boys respond that way.
No, tremendous effort, and certainly just the way that they hung in there and fought, especially when the second half came around, really made the difference. So looks like you have a special teams play queued up here. Was
Yeah, this
wondering
is
if you could
this
talk to us
year,
about it.
Carl. It's the fifth play of the game, and we really pride ourselves on trying to be a fast starting football team, and that goes all the way down to the first day of camp and every day at practice. We start our practices very high intensity. First 15, 20 minutes, will rival anybody's practice, in my opinion. A lot of times teams will do a stretching period and kind of a walkthrough period the first 15 minutes, and guys are lunging and they're stretching and they're we don't do that. We start our practices with tackle circuits, leverage circuits, team bags. We roll right into our competition drills with Jaguar Pride. We'll do a bracket drill. We'll do V drill. Get them popping real early, and then we split the groups up. Defense will do a pursuit drill, so they're running, sprinting right away. Offense is going through their starts on air. So that first 15, 20 minutes of our practice, our guys are breathing pretty heavy. And so, the idea is, and it seems to be working out a lot recently, is that we're a fast starting team. So when we get in the game, it doesn't take us a quarter, to get started. We're able to kind of land that first punch. And that's what, this play highlights, defense, offense started week one on the field. This week it was defense's turn. And both groups, they always want to start the game off. And it was defense's turn this time. They came up huge with a 3-and-out. And then, huge turnaround early in the game with a block punt. So we really delivered that first blow. I'm gonna let it run through here first with the block punt, and then we'll talk a little bit about more of the technique and how we teach it. So you'll see Jack Compton up here on the top, kind of gets right in, makes the block. I believe he even recovered it. All right, so now, instead of starting with the football maybe on our own 40-yard line, we're starting it down on the 10. And Fox has that first bit of adversity that they have to face. We're the team that lands the first blow. We actually talk about and we work on how to block a punt. It's not something you just really go out there and do. First point of emphasis we talk about, and you'll notice, is this block point right here. It's about 3 or 4 yards in front of the kicker. So when Jack is sprinting from the line here, he's not necessarily sprinting straight to this kicker. If he does that, well, he's going to run into him. And then here comes your flag. So this kicker is going to take a step or two forward, then his leg's going to come out. That'll put that block point right about here. So his aiming point is right to the football right there, okay? Next, and it's a little harder to see in this video, but we talk about taking the ball off the toe. So he's actually shooting his hands down towards the football. A lot of times you'll see guys run up to the ball, they got their hands up like this. All right, ball goes through their hands, they're not going to touch it. So we talk a lot about, we ran a few drills during camp about how to take that ball off the toe, punch down towards that football. All right, and that's actually what leads to this block punt. So I'll let you kind of run it. I'll run it again here. You kind of really focus on where Jack heads, and then you just may catch him shoot his hands low. So watch that path he takes. Perfect to that block point. Hands down, block punt. 1st and 10 Jaguars, 6 play into the game. So great way to start the football game and really have the momentum early.
Yeah, certainly that flipped the field for us. Going, looks like, if I'm looking correctly, 10 yards, 7 yards, give or take 12 yards versus maybe 50 yards for that first drive. But it was interesting that you point out that you teach them to almost like running to the spot. Right. So is that kind of what you're saying there when you had that?
Yeah, run to it's called the block point. If you run to the kicker where the kicker is standing, where he's starting, that's your running into the kicker penalties. That's your roughing the kicker. Right. You can contact the kicker, but you have to have the football. You have to if you block the punt, you can touch the kicker. If you touch the kicker without touching the ball, now you got a flag. Depending on how serious it is, you're talking 5 or 10 yards. And another opportunity for the offense. So it's definitely a point of emphasis that we talk about during camp.
Now, interesting. And also I'm watching this with fresh eyes, from your computer here, but it looks like he was uncovered. Is that something that you schemed or you saw in some tape?
Well, with Fox, there's a history there. And we know, back in the day, they like a lot of fake punts. So we're always prepared, and we're always putting a huge emphasis on punt return when we play Fox, because when they were beating us, this would be they would fake punt in their own end, just like this. They did not care. So we put a huge point of emphasis. To say we expected Jack to get sprung open, not necessarily. They may have had just a blown assignment, but we knew we wanted to put pressure on. We knew we had to be ready, for the go route here. They'll just kind of throw it up. They'll run a slant route. So that's something we extra prepare for every year when we play Fox, for sure.
Yeah, huge game changer in just a few plays into the game. And so, Coach, are there some other plays you would like to highlight?
Yeah. So, I'm sure, everybody loves the forward pass. And, Friday night, we got to kind of show that off a little bit. Brody Kuby went 9 for 9, 80-something yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 completions, but they were on penalties, so they don't actually count on the stat sheet. So, good for him. First quarterback to throw for 2 touchdowns in a Fox game. We'd never thrown for multiple touchdowns in a Fox game with one player. So great achievement to him. It was great to see him kind of get some familiarity, get comfortable out there. And that's really, the goal that we've been having. Bring him along nice and slow, not give him too much. And, just talk really here quickly about a very basic concept we have here. This is actually 3rd and 9. I think it was 22. We may have 20. I forget what the score was at this point. But I think we still had, 1 or 2 touchdowns up on it. But it's a huge moment in the game. 3rd and 9. We kind of stumbled on our first 2 plays, had a penalty, and we're not really built for, if you've been watching us, 3rd and 9. With now that we kind of have the opportunity to get it up in the air, maybe we are now. So here we run a very basic, what's called smash concept out of our trips formation. You're going to get a hitch at the sticks from here. Normally, you'll have this inside guy. He's going to be running a corner route, which has him breaking out. But this is our swap concept. So he's running a post, and then he's actually going to come over the top here on our corner route. And what you're really trying to do in a smash concept, and this is not breaking football at all. Everybody understands this concept of you really want to put this guy in a blender. You want to put him in a pickle. If he sits on your hitch route right here, okay, then you want to come over the top. Then you're coming to the safety. What's the safety covering? Is he covering the post? Is he covering the corner? If he bails immediately, and we've seen other teams hit this hitch on us plenty of times. I'm sure death by 1,000 paper cuts, week 1. If he bails immediately, it's a very simple read for the quarterback. Chuck it out there. Let your guy make a play in space. And that's what you'll see here. So watch the corner, and you'll see the quarterback's immediate read to release the football. Corner bail, plenty of space, easy pitch and catch, 1st down Jaguars.
Yeah, you talked about it, very effective, 9 for 9. That's amazing. And there were some bigger plays sprinkled in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great. He rolled right one time and actually came out the backside B gap on a scramble for 12 yards. He's not Cole Rubel with the speed, but it was good enough. And he did a good job. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the poise he showed. There really is no bigger environment than what we were in Friday night. So, looking forward to building on that for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I know on the last podcast you mentioned, and you almost dubbed this game like the fist fight in the phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
And it surely was. And so now it looks like we have another defensive or offensive.
Yeah, no, here. So honestly, I want to talk a little bit about decision making and things that are going on the sideline, what's happening. Sometimes people see me arguing to the refs and they're like, what are you guys talking about? And, a little insight here. This is right coming out of, I believe this game's 12-0 right here. And we just had our offense on the field, and it's 4th and 1. It's at our 38-yard line. And, if you've been watching our games and I'm a little brazen at times, 9 times out of 10, I probably go for this. We run power, and, ideally we get it. Most of the time we do. There have been times that we haven't. But there's a lot of things that go into it. What's the flow of the game? How are things doing? How is the defense playing? Well, our defense was playing tremendously well. We're up 12-0. There's no reason to press here and get ourselves in a bad position. Defense was really controlling the line of scrimmage. I had a lot of faith in them. Like I said, normally this is a situation where we go for it. We didn't. We wanted to play the long game here, played the field position game, and instead of potentially giving Fox the ball on our 36-yard line, down 12-0, we wanted to pin them deep. And a lot of faith in our punter, Connor Day. We know he's going to get it 40, 50 yards downfield. All right, and now Fox, instead of potentially starting on our 36-yard line, they're buried down here in their end on their 20-yard line. So, honestly, at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about my decision. Then they had a personal foul on that too. Now they're back 10 more yards. They're on their 10-yard line. So I'm thinking, okay, I feel pretty good, about this decision. And we're actually going to find out it doesn't work out for us. So, first play from scrimmage, Luke Steiner does a great job destroying his end. We make a tackle here. We're driving this guy back in the end zone. It's not a safety because it ends at forward progress. But our guys being super aggressive, hyper aggressive. We actually get a flag on this play. Not a flag I'm very happy with. As far as, our guys just finishing the play. These guys stopped at the whistle. Nobody buried this kid. And I actually got in a little bit of a conversation with the ref. It was loud. Our boys could not hear the whistle. and they weren't blowing. So I let them know, hey, we can't blow the whistle. And the ref comes over the sideline. He says, well, you still need to teach your boys when to stop. And I said, we do, when the whistle blows. So please blow it louder. So, it's like, dadgummit, when you get a penalty like this, it's really a bummer. You hate to fault the kids because they're playing hard. This wasn't dirty. No one, if Steinert or Lappy lands on this kid in the end zone, you know what? You got a case. All right. But they both pulled up. They let up, and we get the penalty. So now I'm like, okay, great. Still our decision to not go for it on fourth down, still paying it out. They're still on their 20-yard line. Next play, Luke Ferrario does a great job chasing us down from behind. We get a fumble. We recover. Hey, even better decision. Now we got the ball on the 15-yard line going in. Oh, wait, ref says that the quarterback was down. And was he down? Maybe, probably. I don't know. We don't have instant replay. I can't argue it. So, we went from two great defensive plays in a row. Hey, I'm feeling pretty good about, not going in on fourth down. We're going to get a good field position here. And then this happens. 1 break tackle, 2 break tackle. Fantastic play by this kid from Fox. Great heart. Way to bring his team back in the game. Breaking 3 tackles. Our defense played great all night. And this is surely me not dogging them. It's just one play. I think they may have had 30 or 40 yards of offense other than this play. I just kind of, wanted to show, hey, you make the decision not to go on fourth down, and, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When it all works out, I feel really good about it. This was one I went back to, really thought about, could we have got that first down? Could we have got that yard? I always feel pretty confident in our offense. And honestly, the offense, especially the offensive line, was not very happy with me when they got to the sideline. So, hey, now that I know that they got the stones and they want to get that 1 yard, maybe next time I'll give them that chance.
Yeah, great individual play and good on him on that Fox player. But otherwise, you did another stifling defense. Just 7 points total given up. Your defense seems to be on pace from what you had last year, and last year was a great defense.
Yeah, playing with a lot of confidence right now. Believing in each other. Very fast, physical off the line of scrimmage. Like we talked about, in one of our early podcasts, D-line play, that's a cornerstone of what we do. We're fast, we're powerful off the football. And, Isaac Johnson, Luke Ferrario, Gavin Shreve, Lucas Steinert, Ben Eplin, Ben Bosrick, they had great games on Friday night, and we want to continue that into next week.
Certainly, we have a big game coming up. It's a battle of 2-0s. Northwest, they're probably feeling good, just like we are, sitting undefeated. Was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about that team and how that may compare and contrast to what we saw on Friday.
No, I'm very happy for Northwest and their 2-0 start. Last year they had some struggles, previously going winless the year before. So, they're a fellow Class 6 Jefferson County school, just like Fox. So any week that we're not playing Northwest or any week that we're not playing Fox, I'm rooting for them. I want them to do well. They have, similar communities, similar students, similar struggles that we have. So I'm always rooting for those guys to go out there and compete and do well. So it's fun for us right now that Northwest is 2-0. They're coming in with their home opener. I believe it's their junior Lion night too. So they're going to bring a huge crowd. When we were down there 2 years ago, 2022, 2021, was a huge crowd. So there's always a lot of excitement with Northwest. It's a good football community. And I'm excited because they're going to have a big crowd. It's not going to be quite as big, but I would expect 1,500, 2,000 people. So I'm hoping our Jaguar fans show out for it as well.
Yeah, and so, I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about their offensive philosophy. Mm-hmm. I know Fox was very run-heavy. Are we expecting to see the same thing come this Friday?
Yeah, so last couple years, Northwest, they've been running a lot of spread, and they've tried to spread you out and throw the football. This year, it appears, they're kind of getting back to their roots a little bit. They want to lean on you. They want to run the football, because that's the type of players that they have. So I respect that a lot, getting back to your roots, learning how to win football games with the run. And, I think that's what they're going to try to do to us a little bit Friday night. They do have the opportunity to spread it out too. I believe a sophomore young quarterback that'll go in from time to time. So you'll expect that you'll see some jumbo sets, some really tight sets with a lot of guys in the backfield. And once again, we'll kind of find ourselves in that fist fight in a phone booth. And hopefully we come out on top.
Yeah, no doubt. And of course, we're recording this on a Wednesday. The
Mhm.
weather forecast has yet another remnant of a tropical storm heading right up the Mississippi, right toward our area. Uh, any changes or consideration for game planning based on the weather, or just you got your plan and we're just going to go?
Yeah, as far as game times, I'm on time with everybody else. You guys will find out when I do. I typically find out. I know it's going to rain on Friday. We haven't really got all the way to what the plan would be or how we want to go, but if we got to push it back or maybe stay a little later, I'm all down for that. I'd rather play till midnight than come back on a Saturday morning. When it comes to our practices, not a whole lot changes. Centers are usually sweaty and slippery anyway, dealing with wet balls. We'll kind of have them a little slick for them today at practice and get used to it and get comfortable working in the rain.
No, sounds good. And of course, we have the information on our Facebook page. We invite everyone out to the stadium because I was looking when you were showing some of the clips. What we had Friday night was just nothing short of amazing. The
Mm-hmm.
ring around the fences, packed with people, the stands on both sides of the house. I mean, just a great atmosphere. And you alluded it to Northwest, and it's a big night for them. We need our fans to show up.
No doubt, no doubt.
And so, Coach, you're very busy on that Friday. And I love this tweet that the superintendent put out. And for those not following, it's a worthwhile follow because really it shows, early Friday morning, you and some of the other football players out there welcoming the Seckman Elementary schools to their building.
Yeah, we got to hang out with Seckman Elementary students and principal Ryan Shreve, as well as Dr. Frigo, a little bit on Friday morning. By welcoming the elementary school students as they came in. It's always a lot of fun. I've done it a few times before, so I do enjoy it. But it's always fun to watch the boys get to do it for the first time. I only do the seniors. I don't need to bring the whole team. Um, I think they really see, I tell them all the time how, young players, young kids are watching them, looking up to them, and want to end up being like them. It's one thing for me to say it. It's another for them to actually see it. We go over to the elementary school. They see all the kids wearing their Seckman Jaguars shirts. They see the Seckman football camp shirts. They see the junior Jaguar jerseys coming in. And I really think it's a special moment just to kind of show them the brevity of what they're doing and how it really matters in our community. And, we had a lot of fun. Some of those kids come out of the car a little dusty eyed and, not sure what's going on. And, some of them come through big smiles, run right through the tunnel and, hands smiling ear to ear. And, you could certainly tell who the wild ones are. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I just, from watching games over the last 3 years, the younger group, junior Jags, just the regular fans, they look up to these boys. And I'm sure it
Mm-hmm.
was a very big thrill for them to be welcomed to their school building on that Friday.
No doubt. I think it was definitely a surprise.
No, I hope that we see more of these type things in the future because it was really, really cool. And it shows, that community and that tradition building that you've been talking about on these podcasts since we started last April. So, appreciate you doing that with the boys. And so, wanted to remind everybody we do have our social media channels. Our Facebook page continues to grow, and that grows because of the folks watching this and everyone interested in what we're doing as the Booster Club. So we always invite our folks to like and subscribe. We have the data and analytics. We know who's subscribed. We know who's not. So over the last couple of days, we had some posts that garnered thousands upon thousands of views. We talk about the hype video that was produced by Brad and Check Tape Productions. That was just amazing, over 6,000 views. The last week's podcast has over 1,000 views. So if you're not subscribed, highly recommend doing it because we don't want you to miss out on any special announcements or any other kind of information pertaining to the program. So we appreciate everybody, supporting us and liking and subscribing our social media channels. So, Coach, that leaves us with your final thoughts. Always this 25, 30 minutes goes by so quickly. We're sitting here 2-0. We play one of our rivals who is in the exact same position we are. Was wondering if you could, give us your final thoughts here as we wrap things up.
Yeah, it feels great to kind of start the season 2-0. For me, I'm not going to lie, the when I looked at the season, the first 2 weeks kind of had me a little nerved up, with week one always being that, can we, can't we, will we, won't we? We know we're facing a tough opponent, Parkway West, and then week two, you're coming out with the distractions of a Fox game and all the things that come with, playing your district rival. And, how are we going to respond to that moment? And we did that. So, now for me, it's kind of that next part, that next chapter of the season where now we roll. Now we're playing football. Now we're really doing what we do, and preparing this team for a playoff run.
Sounds good, Coach. Well, you have our support. We will see you out there on Friday as of now. And if things change, of course, monitor the official X page of the Jaguar footballs. We'll post updates in here as well. But, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Great job last week. We're excited about this Friday game. And, of course, roll Jags.
Yep. Thanks, Carl.
No problem. Thank you.